I love the movie so much. It's pretty rare that I want to see a movie right away. As soon as it's over, I just want to restart it. And good God, I mean, just so good, so good. This was like
Aw.
Ghostbusters sequel
Thanks,
that I've been hoping for.
Yeah.
I actually saw Ghostbusters 2 when I was 5. It was the very first movie I ever saw in a theater. And so I'm curious if you guys remember like your first experience, like being introduced to Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I mean, I was 3 when the original movie came out, so I was a little young to go to the theater, but it was on all the time. So I grew up at a time when, people just watched movies on TV when they came on. My siblings and I watched Ghostbusters 1 and 2 all the time. It was just like playing in the background of my life. So it was just part of my DNA, the images from that are so iconic. And it's a little bit surreal to consider being part of it now. It doesn't even feel like it's real. I saw the movie, but it still feels like a dream that I had. I kind of can't believe that it's actually being released into the world.
Yeah, I remember I was a kid when it came out. Everybody, all my friends saw it, loved it. Everybody loved it. I loved the cast. I was a huge SCTV fan and Saturday Night Live. I mean, I knew who everybody was, and I went and thought, whoa, this is actually kind of scarier than I was anticipating. But it's really, really funny, and it stuck around for a long time. Movies played in theaters for a longer amount of time back then, and the Ray Parker Jr. song was it was like the #1 song, and it was always on the radio, and it was it was a big event. And I was knocked out by it. I loved it.
I got a 2-part question for both of you. Do you believe in ghosts? And if so, do you have any sort of ghostly experiences that you've ever had?
I think that there are so many things that human beings don't understand about the universe that I'm completely open to the possibility that ghosts exist. And as a little girl, while I was a very imaginative child, I also grew up in a really old farmhouse with an old barn and, creepy outhouses. So we were always looking for secret passages and listening for footsteps upstairs. And, it felt real to me. And if you spend 5 minutes with Dan Aykroyd, you'll be a believer. He's very convincing. Paul?
Yeah, it's funny. I tend to be a bit of a cynical person by nature about a lot of things. And yet I also know there's stuff that's unexplainable. And I try and keep an open mind about certain things. And this is one where I have had the craziest stuff happen to me. I've had really specific, wild things happen to me that are impossible to explain. Even with how mysterious our brains are. So yeah, I could see, I just think that who knows?
I agree with you. I mean, that's where I land on it. So I work for Comicbook.com, and I apologize in advance, but I'm going to get fired if I don't ask at least one Marvel question. So this is a chance for you both to clear the air. Is Ant-Man or Proxima Midnight in Spider-Man No Way Home? Because it seems like everybody's in that movie.
Carrie, do you want to go first, or?
I think that's a bit I stole from Paul Rudd, by the way. Oh, he froze. Oh no, Paul froze. Somebody hit Paul's camera. He froze.
Oh my God. That's amazing.
It was great talking to you.
I'm not trying to get anybody assassinated. So thank you so much for.
We would be.
Anyway, all right.
Yeah.
Wow. I can't believe I just told you all of that.
In charge.
All right. Hi guys. Oh God. I love the movie so much. I mean, I don't know if you can tell that I'm a big Ghostbusters fan, but you guys were both amazing in it.
Thank you so much, dude. Yeah. Love the costume. It's sick.
Thanks. This is my shooting my shot. This is like the closest I'm gonna get.
Yeah, this is the audition. Yeah.
You guys,
all right,
are like official Ghostbusters though now. Like, how cool is that?
Literally the coolest. Yeah. It's pretty amazing.
I'm kind of aging myself telling you this, but I was 5 when I saw Ghostbusters 2. It was the first movie I ever saw in theaters. And so I was curious if you guys remember how old you were when you were first introduced to Ghostbusters.
I think I was probably around 5 or 6. I don't remember the first time I ever watched it, but I do remember it being around all the time. And we did, we would talk about it a lot. And it was a big movie for me as a kid.
I think I was like 3. Mom, how old was I whenever you showed me Ghostbusters? Is she even back there? Oh, never mind. She left.
She abandoned her.
Never mind. She abandoned
It
me.
was probably if you can't remember. how
I think I was 3. So yeah, around like very young, you know.
Yeah, young enough to like traumatize you, right? So, uh, Finn, I was curious too. Which Ghostbusters uniform was more comfortable for you, the one in the movie or the one you wore in Stranger Things?
Oh, that's a good question. Probably the new one because it was kind of bigger and I could, yeah, because also well, you know, I don't know. Like I did that a long time ago. It was colder when I shot that Stranger Things thing, and we were shooting in the dead of summer in Calgary, and so sometimes it got super hot. So maybe I don't know. Like each one of them had its you know, good qualities to it, I think.
Right, you probably can't fit in that one anymore.
No,
either.
definitely not. Definitely
Yeah.
not. Yeah.
I gotta say, I thought the movie is such a lovely tribute to Harold Ramis and his legacy as a Ghostbuster. McKenna, you did an amazing job sort of embodying that scientific quirkiness of Egon Spangler. Even though you guys probably never met Harold Ramis, he's such a huge part of the movie. Were there any days on set that felt emotional filming without him?
Oh,
Definitely.
yeah.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
The whole final act that I won't give away. The whole final act was like, yeah, that was the
Mhm.
whole.
And being with the original Ghostbusters was really like special. And I mean, yeah, for sure. Because the whole film is like a
Like a
dedication to
missing
him,
piece,
so.
kind of. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
I'm pretty obsessed with these, like this legend of Bill Murray. Like I always hear about these Bill Murray stories. So do you guys have any sort of cool, funny Bill Murray stories from getting to hang
Well,
out with
do
him on
we
set?
have
We
one
have a
for
few.
you.
We have a few.
Remember his birthday?
His birthday. Yeah,
His
let's tell his birthday story.
Yeah. He was on set for his birthday. Luckily, oh my gosh, that was so cool. Imagine we got to be there for Bill Murray's birthday, and he hired a bagpiper to follow him around. It was not like anybody else did it. He hired a bagpiper.
But like he pretended like he wasn't behind him. Like
yeah, he pretended that the bagpiper wasn't
there. So he talked to people like normally
the whole time.
He just walked around with this bagpiper, and at lunch, like we were all just sitting there, and all of a sudden you just hear, and
really
you hear,
loud.
like,
And he
this
just
really
walks
loud-
in and he's just like
Getting his
getting food,
lunch,
getting his lunch. And
eating.
it was the funniest thing ever, dude.
and everybody's like,
To
"What?"
great lengths. And then after that,
And then he set down his plate and he went, "I'm going to sing for everyone," and everybody was like,
okay. So
All right.
He sung a song
and it
for
was
us.
surprisingly
It was
really
really
beautiful.
good. Yeah, it was really good.
It was really
He
beautiful.
sung like a old Scottish anthem, and he did that. And then Jason got him the entire Calgary Stampede cheerleader team to come and take a picture with him, which is really funny. Classic
Mhm.
Bill Murray.
That's amazing.
But yeah, I mean, he was really sweet. I mean, I sat in between him and Annie Potts literally this like legs touching on a tiny couch. And I talked to him a little bit about him being in Wes Anderson movies and how much I was a fan of those, and like talking to him about the new movie coming out, French Dispatch. I was like, you know, how do you think that's, you know, he was saying that it was going to be amazing and all this stuff. And then I was like, where are you going after this? And he was like, I'm going to this blues festival in, you know, in New Orleans. And I was like, oh, what's, and before that we were talking about music. And I said, well, what's the lineup? And he said, well, you know, get it up on your phone. And it was a really sweet moment. And I just Googled the lineup and we just went through the lineup and said who we liked and who we didn't know. And yeah, it was really, really sweet.
Oh, that's awesome.
We had some
What a
really
great
good one-on-one
experience.
time. I think we all did a little bit.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Hey,
I like the outfit.
I love the
Oh,
fit.
thanks. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's my time to shine. This is the closest that I'm ever gonna get. But you guys are like official Ghostbusters now. Like, how cool is that?
Oh, it's
It's
awesome.
the coolest thing of all time. So.
Right? So I was 5 when I saw Ghostbusters 2, first movie I ever saw in theaters. I'm aging myself a little bit there, but I was curious, do you guys remember how old you were when you were first introduced to Ghostbusters?
Well, I was 3 years old, and my mom, she always like just showed me all the classic movies, and so Ghostbusters was one of those. And I remember watching it, and I was really scared. The library ghost, she was freaky, and I remember just watching the Stay Puft, and I was like, "This is awesome." And when I grew up, because I watched it like every year, I started understanding like the love of the movie and all the jokes and stuff. And I just loved it even more.
Yeah. So, I actually, funny story. I actually kept a ghost trap. Like I would put it in front of my closet every night before I would go to bed for like years because Ghostbusters scared me so bad. Uh, so I know I'm a
That's
huge Ghostbusters
amazing.
fan. You guys, like last night watching it, it's very rare that I see a movie that I want to rewatch like right away. And this is so good. I loved it so much. I could go on and just praise you guys, but the movie does a wonderful, lovely job of paying tribute to Harold Ramis and his legacy as a Ghostbuster. So even though you guys probably never met Harold Ramis, like he's such a huge part of the movie. Were there ever any days on set that felt emotional filming without him?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we don't want to give too much away, but the there's a final scene that is really emotional, and I think that I think it was really beautiful to be a part of it, especially with the original cast and with all of us and the family and the younger generation. It really felt like a really special moment on set that day. So it was really an honor to be a part of. And I really do think that, Jason and Ivan took the time to pay a special tribute to Harold specifically.
Yeah. I don't think it's a spoiler to say that Bill Murray's in the movie. I think everybody kind of knows that at this point now, but I'm obsessed with this legend of Bill Murray and how everyone who meets him seems to have like an entertaining story about him. Do you guys have any like funny Bill Murray stories from your time on set with him?
Well, I mean, when I saw him, I was like, okay, this guy that I've been seeing since I was 3 years old is right in front of me. So I'm gonna go say hi. And he's like, hey, what's up? Like little, just normal. I was freaking out inside. I was like, hey. So it was really, really funny because he was joking and he was just, his comedy never stops. He always has another joke and it's so good. His mind just works some way that I don't even know how he does it.
Man, I love that. Okay, last question. It's a two-part question for both of you. Do you believe in ghosts? And if so, have you ever seen one?
I do, but I haven't seen one.
I do as well, but I've never seen one. No. So
You ever experienced anything?
I had an experience. Yeah, I'll tell you. So I was sitting in my bed, and if you walk behind, there's a sink, and then there's a bathroom with the shower curtains, and then there's another bathroom, and then there's another bedroom. And the bedroom was empty beside me. And so I wake up to the sound of the rustling shower curtains. And I was like, okay, that's weird. So I get up and then it goes again. I'm like, hello? So I'm like, okay, I've watched too many horror movies and idiots walk into the scary noise and check out and, see what's going on in there. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to die tonight. So I'm just going to go and check on my brother and make sure he's sleeping. He's not messing around with me. So I did that. I was like, okay, he's in his bed. So I went downstairs and I slept on the couch. I think that was a good
That's
idea.
what I would have done too. I would have definitely, or ran out of the house, whichever. Guys, this is an absolute honor for me. The movie is amazing, and it's a perfect love letter to fans of Ghostbusters. Like I loved it so much. I got to tell you, I know it's not as popular as the original, but Ghostbusters 2 was the very first movie I ever saw in theaters. I was 5. I love it so much. I will defend that movie until I die.
So will I.
So
you.
Afterlife sort of ignores the events of Ghostbusters 2 and really references the original mostly. Was there any specific reason you guys felt you needed to ignore part 2, or were there Easter eggs for part 2 that I maybe missed?
Ghostbusters Afterlife completely embraces both Ghostbusters 1 and 2. We wanted to lean specifically into our relationship with the original film. There isn't a day in my life that I don't go and I see someone wearing a Ghostbusters t-shirt. I think it's occupied a part of everybody's heart. And when leaning into the nostalgia, which is a lot of what this movie is about, we want to embrace all these elements that first came into our lives when people saw Ghostbusters 1984. The traps, the packs, the flight suits, Ecto-1. We absolutely acknowledge Ghostbusters 2, though. I mean, you see Ray, when we pick up with Ray, Ray's a cult.
Ivan, when I was a little kid, for years, every night before I went to bed, I would put my ghost trap in front of my closet, just in case, you know. So I guess my question is, when you were making Ghostbusters, did you know that you were going to scare the shit out of an entire generation of children?
I'm very proud of that fact. Look, I always wanted to do a combination of comedy and horror. I was a huge horror fan as a kid, much like, you know, I think you were. And I wanted to bring that into this movie. And there were some early 1940s movies. I think Abbott and Costello did some kind of combination of comedy and kind of ghosts and scary stuff. But the scares weren't legit. I thought if I was going to do this, I was going to, of course, continue to try to make a good comedy, but also really scare people, like really take a sincere effort in terms of the horror part of it.
Well, that's actually a great lead up to my next question. I have a two-part question for both of you. Do you actually believe in real life ghosts? And if so, have you ever had any ghost experiences?
I believe in the unknown. I believe we don't know everything. And that's what's kind of perfect about Ghostbusters, is that you meet this group of brilliant scientists at the beginning of the original film in '84, and they are scientists, but they embrace the idea that we don't know everything. And I think that's why people love this franchise. It's about outsiders who, you know, find their way to heroicism through ghost busting. You know, we're not all born looking like Thor. We're not all born with superpowers, but we can all put on the flight suit. We all can put on the proton pack.
The movie does such a wonderful, lovely job paying tribute to Harold Ramis and his legacy as a Ghostbuster. I don't want to spoil anything, but were there any days on set that felt emotional filming without him?
Yeah, I mean, I felt that right from the beginning, that he was no longer with us. It's the reason that I couldn't even contemplate doing a Ghostbusters sequel myself. And when Jason came forward with this great idea, we gravitated to it so quickly and appreciated the cleverness of the storytelling, and as a vehicle for introducing a whole new generation of people that could perhaps become the future Ghostbusters.
Well, guys, thank you so much for talking with me. You guys did an amazing job. I loved it so much. I could go on and on and on about how much I loved it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Again. Thank you, guys.
Nice proton pack.
Oh, appreciate it. It lights up and everything.
No, I can see. That's a good one.
Thank you, guys.